That's right, ladies and gentlemen, today we have the Fouke monster, also known as a Boggy Creek monster. But before we jump into the whole episodes of cryptids and such, I would like for all my new first-time viewers to please hit that subscribe button down below. Help me get to 1,000 and help the channel grow. We also have some more horror games coming up in the future, such as I have a nice SpongeBob game coming out, and some more Folklore Hunter. Maybe I'll take on the Wendigo, or maybe some more Strigoi, or vampires, whatever you like to call them. But if you're new, hit that subscribe button, and current returning viewers, let me know what you think of the episode. But let's dive on into this cryptids and such, and learn a little bit about the Fouke monster. Welcome to Cryptids and Such. This creature is described as 7 feet tall, weighing 300 to 500 pounds, so that is large. That's a large lineman almost. Dark brown or black hair covering the body, dark skin with an ape-like face, so that's going to be in the family of the Bigfoots, Sasquatches. Actually, I more see it as a skunk ape, because of the location being in Arkansas, Fouke being that easy name to go with a monster. First sighting happened around 1908, not much stated about this, just a sighting. It doesn't even have that. I can't even find a newspaper article on that. The last sighting was actually in 2021. There was 2 back-to-back sightings in that year. There's track evidence, but this is a weird one. First time I've really come across this, and I've been searching. There's no photo evidence. There's nothing. There's literally nothing. Just, I found a couple that looked like Twitter posts, but those nice cutouts, which I'm trying to find those cutouts to put in my backyard, but there's no photo evidence. Very odd. But so much has been written on this. There's even a Fouke Monster Day in Fouke, Arkansas, which is located near Texarkana, which also has a great movie about Texarkana serial killer. I'm drawing a blank on the name, but it is a great movie. Fouke monster is predominantly found around the Sulphur River bottoms near Fouke, seen by plenty of people, as it's been seen by police officers, musicians, anybody's really in the area just out and about, they'll see it. Also, the creature also has the Legend of the Boggy Creek movie series to it. There's quite a few of these movies. As you saw, I put a little clip in there at the beginning for you. 5 notable ones. Now, I watched the Legend of Boggy Creek, the one made in 1972 the other night. That was a great movie. If you guys want a good old school cryptid movie, I suggest Legend of Boggy Creek. Let me know what you think down in the comments. It's not a bad movie. But then there's a big drop off and turning into B movies you don't want to watch, trust me. These are bad, like The Return to Boggy Creek of 1977. I got through this one, it wasn't bad. I would not go back and watch again. I'll go back and watch Legend of Boggy Creek any day. I'll watch it with you guys. Actually, I don't know if we can do that copyright and everything, all that bull crap from YouTube, but then we have 1985's Boggy Creek 2, The Legend Continues. I actually tried watching this with the movie Science Theater 3000, and it was a horrible experience. I couldn't get 30 minutes into it. I just turned it off. It was bad. Then we have the 2010 Boggy Creek, The Legend is True. Horrible. I didn't make it very far. And then the Legend of Boggy Creek 2011 was actually called the Skunk Ape story at first after digging into it, and then they turned into the Legacy of Boggy Creek. Very cheap production made video. Wouldn't recommend it. Don't even turn it on. Trust me. Don't do it. Alright everybody, let's get into some alleged sightings. So these date back to, like I said, 1900. There's even closer ones back in the 1800s, but there's not much stated at all. There's even less about the 1908 one, but the creature was likely spotted first time, big story about it, is in 1955 where a child saw a 14-year-old actually saw this reddish brown hair animal sniffing the air, and he actually fired birdshot on this animal. If you know what birdshot is, you shoot out of a shotgun. They're fun to shoot, trust me. But really into the 1970s is where we get the big ones. There was a big fuss in about 1971 where Bobby and Elizabeth Ford had moved into a new home. They heard something creeping around their home. This is actually part of the Boggy Creek movie, the first one. And they thought it was a bear at first, and the creature tried to get into the home. Or went up against the house and started bugging the residents. Well, Bobby ran out with his gun and started shooting at it, like you would do down in Arkansas, I guess. And several nights prior, they also have more encounters, but they never encountered the creature before and after, really. Then we have a one on May 23rd, 1971, actually on US Highway 71, Arkansas. And the game warden actually showed up to this one, where the best known footprints were found in a soybean field belonging to a local farmer. And they were actually scrutinized by the game warden and was able to unconfirm it or tell if they were really a creature or not. But they only had 3 toes, which, if you know anything about animals and anthropology and stuff, there's not really any bipedal animals that run around on 3 toes. That's not stable. I mean, look at your toes right now, you have 5, unless you lost some, sorry about that, but it's very hard to run around on 3 without your body being almost like a dinosaur, pushed over the front, so you have more balance. So in the 1970s, this really started to attract a lot of news and everything. Even the radio station KAAY posted a $1,000 bounty on the creature. That's a lot. I'm not going to go out looking for a creature for $1,000 when I can rip my arms off. Being that tall at 7 foot, 350 pounds, yeah, I have one rifle that might be able to take that thing down, but that's going to be a fun little adventure. So in the late 1970s, after it all died down in the early 1970s, again in Crossett, Arkansas, in the Russville area, there's another sighting of the Fouke monster. And he was allegedly stealing and killing missing livestock and attacking several dogs. What a nice guy. Ugh. Those initial clusters, though, they died off again. And it wasn't until 1991 that they had a big surge when someone saw one jumping off a bridge. Yeah, it's great. And it's mostly in that Sulphur Creek area, or the Boggy Creek, Sulphur River Basin. That's where all these really happen. Let's get into our latest sighting. In 2021, a witness reports seeing the hairy ape-like creature run across a country road during daylight hours. He describes it as looking as an orangutan with reddish hair. Now, if you guys know anything about the skunk ape, this is very closely resembling. I mean, look at that. It looks like an orangutan that got loose out in the wilderness. Not saying that it is, but it could possibly be another orangutan. We know how people like to keep stuff like Joe Exotic, keeping very large animals for fun. It's not the greatest idea in the world, but you know. Now, a couple days after this, they had another sighting. A few days later, witness saw a red-colored animal. A researcher sees what appears to be a large red animal move through the woods near Mercer Bayou. We don't have those up in the area where we don't have bayous, we call them swamps. This happened during daylight hours. So again, this red creature, I'm going to say it's probably a orangutan this whole time. I could see that happening. It'd just be a misidentification of an escaped animal or more. Could be a breeding population down there, because Arkansas never really gets that cold in the south near Louisiana, because it is near that little tri-state area of Louisiana, Texas, and Arkansas. I mean, they might get some snow here and there, but it's not going to last that long. So let's get into some of the investigation. A month after that sighting that I talked about where the game warden showed up back in the 1970s, Southern Arkansas University sent an archaeologist down there, and there was a 99% chance that it was a hoax. Those tracks were a hoax, and I'm gonna say yes to that too, because every time we see a Bigfoot track, I mean, what does it have? It usually has 5 toes. Large foot of a bipedal creature that we know would be able to stay on 3 toes just doesn't make sense to me. Alright, let's get on to the great festival of the Fouke Monster Festival. I'm actually looking into this. I don't know if I'll ever go to this, but it can be cool to see. It's also called the Boggy Creek Festival. It's an annual event depicted to discussions, presentations, and lore of the creature of Boggy Creek and Fouke. I mean, it goes to good cause. It goes to the school district, but I mean, Fouke is very tiny. I don't even think they have a Walmart, really. It's not big. You drive through it and not realize it's probably one of those one stoplight towns or one stop sign towns. So my thoughts on this creature is it's probably a misidentification. I could see it being as a loose orangutan or some kind of ape that's been there for years, probably since the early times, probably a circus drop off maybe. But with the people saying 3 toes, that doesn't make sense to me. It's more of I think it's local lore, people seeing stuff. I don't want to say what I want to say about the people in that area, but I'm guessing the education is not the same as most. That probably area is not the greatest. I mean, you go to urban areas and they're not going to see that stuff, but there are more people. But we all know this stuff doesn't hide that well, unless you're a leopard or something in India that walks just through the towns in India. That's kind of a cool thing to see. But yeah, I think it's more legend, but there could be a misidentification of the creature. I'm guessing like the swamp ape being a orangutan on the loose. Could well be that, being with the description of reddish hair and everything. But there could be many things for it. I mean, it could be another Bigfoot just in the area and they like it there. I mean, it's a nice swamp, not a lot of people out there. I mean, there's sightings every once in a while, so it could be a surgence of them moving through the area, migrating. That could be it too. But with that, I would like to thank everybody for checking out the video. Also, you guys need to vote. If you are subscribed, you can go in and check out my new poll coming out soon. We got the Ozark Howler, the Lake Chelan dragon. That's actually in, I believe, Idaho or somewhere around there. Oh no, maybe it's Oregon. I think it's Oregon. The Kraken and Burunjor. I don't know how you say that. Really don't know how you say that. But it's a close dead heat. 6 votes right now. Split between the Ozark Howler and the Kraken, which I would love to take a look at both. Being at the Ozark Howler, I actually found out there is a very good possibility that somebody has figured out what it is. There's a great episode of that. I will let you guys know about that if we go to that episode. And the Kraken, I've always loved deep sea creatures. I'd love to get into that. But with that, guys, this is Warbird, and this is Cryptids and such, and hopefully you enjoyed, and have a fantastic day.